Governor Greg Abbott faces a lawsuit for one part of his plan to fight COVID-19. 5 conservative state lawmakers sued the governor for using emergency powers to award a contract to a technology firm for contact tracing. The lawsuit claims the governor needed approval from the legislature for the $295 million deal. Here's how the governor responded.
Listen, I've been sued too many times for me to count. Every lawsuit that's been filed against me has either been I either won in court or has been dismissed either by the courts or by the parties. And this lawsuit will meet that exact same fate.
This lawsuit comes from Republican lawmakers. It shows that there's division within the party about the governor's response to the pandemic. For Insight, our John Engel spoke with Alan West. He's the new chairman of the Republican Party of Texas. We asked him about the lawsuit and what it could mean for unity among the party in an election year.
Do you support that lawsuit that was filed? Do you have any comment on that?
The lawsuit is all about the fact that I believe close to $300 million have been apportioned to this MTX group to do contact tracing. Now, the last time I studied civics, and I used to be a legislator, any apportionment of funds, taxpayer funds, that has to be sent for approval through the legislature. So I think that is what those legislators are concerned about, is that the governor is using taxpayer funds without going through the legislature.
And would you be equally concerned about that, or?
I would be heavily concerned. I think everyone that understands how we operate in a constitutional republic should be concerned. That's why we have 3 branches of government. That's why we have a system of checks and balances. You don't have an executive branch that just can go out and write a check without having that legislative approval, which are the representation of the people here, the citizens of Texas.
It's not something that's so unfamiliar to the Texas Republican Party. When you're in the lead or in power in most stages of the government, typically there's going to be some infighting and some disagreements on policy things instead of necessarily the party versus party fight. How do you unify this party as we march towards November and make sure that the focus is electing Republicans and not tearing down cohorts?
Well, I think that the very simple thing is, again, coming back to the rule of the law or the rule of the mob. When you look at people and this Antifa and Black Lives Matter that has taken over our streets, really has become, as Antifa has been declared a domestic terrorist organization, I don't think anyone wants to see cities in Texas look like Portland or even Seattle. We don't want to see our law enforcement officers demonize and attack like what we see there in those cities. So I think that is a very clear choice. I think another clear choice is to make sure that we have the policies that enable people to be victors in their lives and not making them victims, so that they become more economically enslaved to a government entity. So again, I think it's a clear-cut choice. People here in Texas want safety, they want security, they want a strong economy, they want a strong oil and gas industry. I don't understand why anyone would vote for someone that says we're not going to drill, we're not going to frack, has accepted the Green New Deal to end oil and gas in the next 10 to 12 years. What does that mean for Texas? It means that the Texas entrepreneurial spirit is defeated. We don't want that.
West has been critical about the governor's executive orders, but he told us they met in Odessa and said that they would agree to work together. Researchers make progress on 2 different vaccines to fight COVID-19. How Texans are helping to get those doses ready to go.